Airguns of Arizona sends along Sig Sauer's very first brake barrel airgun. Coming up. AEAC is made possible by Air Venturi, Craftsman Corporation, Diana Airguns, FX Airguns, Daystate, Air Arms, Sports Match Rings UK, H&N Sport, Aztec Optics, and JSB Predator. And you guys know the best way to thank them. Alright guys, Sig's new ASP20 Advanced Sport Pellet is made right here in the USA at Sig's plant in Newington, New Hampshire. It's currently available in either 2.2 or 1.77. It measures 45.5 inches long. By itself, it weighs 8.3 pounds. As you see it here, to include a scope and mounts, it weighs in at 9.6. It can be had in either synthetic or stained beach, comes with a 5-year warranty, and you can pick one up from the crew at Airguns of Arizona for between $350 and $430 bucks. Now the ASP20 is a very powerful springer that happily generates 20 foot-pounds of energy, hence the 20 at the end of the ASP. It gets there by pushing a 10.34 grain pellet to an average of 937 feet per second, or a 10.65 grain to an average of 915, with both of those rounds carrying with them 15 to 16 foot-pounds of energy, 25 yards downrange. Now the rifle also takes advantage of a Sig-made moderator and barrel, glide lock cocking, a wedge lock breech, a Weaver scope rail, a gas ram piston in place of a coil spring, an ambidextrous stock with rubber butt pad, and Sig's Matchlight dual stage somewhat adjustable trigger with ambidextrous manual safety. So, did they pull it off? They did, and they did it in a big way. The new ASP20 is reasonably priced, powerful, accurate, seemingly well made, and even has generally good manners. But it's not without a couple of chinks in its armor. Cocking is smooth and linear end to end, and it's just moderately weighted. The upstroke is light, but lock-in is a little hard. Weight is in a good place. The gun's narrow, well balanced, and comes up nicely. Now about those chinks. Yes, while they're petty in nature, they may also be important to some of you. So here they are. The rifle is otherwise very nicely crafted, and the stock's finish is superb. If you're new here, pellet velocity is measured with Doppler radar, and speed is tracked from the muzzle all the way to the target in set increments. This allows us to determine leaving and arriving energy levels, and lets our viewers calculate ballistic coefficient. And the little box you see to the left is the wind level measured in miles per hour at the target. The Sig's a very powerful springer, and like all Magnum springers, can be very difficult to shoot consistently well. A precisely repeatable hold-in approach was necessary to get good accuracy. And for its power level, it was good indeed, as the more powerful they get, the harder they are to shoot well. On a side note, a couple of you have erroneously called me out for referring to gas ram brake barrels as springers. I didn't make that lingo up. It's how they're referred to me when conversing with airgun engineers. These engineers call all brake barrel, gas ram, and coil springs mechanical springs, hence why they refer to them as springers. So call it what you like, but that's where I get the terminology. And its shot cycle is very smooth. There's nothing unpleasant about it. The Sig's breech chamber is very nicely finished, and it doesn't shave pellets the way other brake barrels in this price point sometimes do. But breech seal-up seemed less than perfect. I put a lot of hours into learning my way through these products so that I can properly demonstrate them for you here. If you want to be included in this day-by-day learning, discovery, and approach, you can follow AEAC on Instagram and Facebook. Keyword search, Hooked on Air. And to the 13,938 who do, thank you. It's good to have your company. For those of you still holding out, it's kind of like day-by-day tech notes and great pictures. And being privy to their content will make these videos more enjoyable for you, as well as give you a lot more information than you'll find following me on YouTube alone. Thanks to its welded-on factory moderator and gas ram spring in place of a coil spring, the Sig ASP20 isn't that loud of an air gun, and that's saying a lot considering all the power this springer's putting out. In Sig's press release, they talk about their glide lock cocking mechanism. They say it cocks at just 33 pounds, versus the 48 to 52 typically found in other air guns of this power range. And while it didn't feel overly heavy, or as stout as I felt in some other air guns, it could be significant for some. You can read more about this on my Facebook page, as I've shared the entire press release there. Sig's also fond of their new wedge lock breech system. It's said to keep things in proper alignment for enhanced accuracy, and the pin itself is drilled and pressed into place with one single motion, further contributing to good long-term alignment. The scope I'm shooting today is the Nikon Pro Staff P3 Target EFR, and it too came from Airguns of Arizona. So far so good. After about 500 rounds and for under $200 it performs great. The glass is good and everything operates smoothly and behaves as it should. I also found it to be of good size and complement to the ASP 20. Just make sure you got the turret cap screwed on tight. If you'd like some Made in America pellets for your Made in America gun, look no further. These Ultra Magnum domes by Crosman are cheap, hard-hitting, and are accurate out of the ASP 20. But consistency can be an issue, so if one goes in the breech tighter or looser than the rest, expect it to spray a bit. Sig goes on to talk a lot more about their trigger. They make the claim that it's match grade, and that they've designed it to perform better than traditional airgun triggers on the market today. Personally, I found it to be ahead of the Crosman, Benjamin, and Gamo, and nipping at the heels of the Hudson, Vairao, and Air Arms. Bottom line is that it's better than very good, and once brought into proper adjustment, is an attribute to the gun's overall performance. Although some may take issue with its ultra-wide blade. For me personally, it was a bit challenging not to pull shots. But as you can see, I've gotten used to it and normally get things right. The blade itself is made of poly, and the guard is made of zinc. Out of the box, the SIG's trig wasn't great. There was quite a bit of roll in the second stage, and its factory set break weight made it a little difficult to shoot well with. The first stage pull, the second stage there was quite a bit of roll in there before it would break for me. But you know, the good news is that the owner's manual that ships with this gun gives very detailed instructions on how you can tune that trigger to your liking. All right, now there's going to be two main adjustments, or really two adjustments period, for this trigger. One is in the back here, so you can insert an Allen key that goes into a little grub screw that's on the back side of the trigger, and you can control how long that second stage pull is before it finally lets off for you. And that's that roll I was talking about. So for me, about a half. But with some simple adjustments, things got a lot better. £1 pound, 14 ounces. Well, that's all for today, guys. And special thanks to the guys and gals at Airguns of Arizona for getting the new ASP-20 and Nikon scope into my hands to review for you. You guys know the best way to thank them for that one. Now from here, you'll want to head on over to the Airgun Nation forum so that you can participate in the discussion thread on the ASP-20. I'll leave you a link on how to get there in the description down below. As for me, please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment, tell all your friends about us, and be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, AEAConline.com, Vimeo, as well as my second YouTube channel, AEAC Vlog. I'll share things in those places that won't make it here, and you guys won't want to miss out. So with that, I'm Steve Shalley. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great week, everyone.